Yo, Descendants, Augiesaint here, back with another Season 3 updated build guide for TFT. And today we're going to be taking a look at Ines. The Electrical Queen is still pumping out tons of damage as she is just obliterating the AXION plains. With the current build setup that we have now, I can usually average about 3 to 4 minutes on just about every single mission there is around AXION plains, with one of them being really fast so we can get in just under 3 minutes. I managed to get it down to a 2 minute and 50-second timer. That's the one playing in the background right now. So if you want to go run that and just farm out materials, take your Ines with this build and just go and destroy that and stock up on all the teeth you may need for your crafting needs. Without further ado, let's just hop straight into the build video. So we have a look at the mods. We're running both of the blue crit mods for the crit damage and the critical hit rate. With the way we have this all set up and the MP with her passive, we're at 100% critical hit chance. And then we run front lines over there just for some more increased skill crit damage and to cap us out on that 100% crit rate. And then we do have some cooldown with MP conversion, nimble fingers, buffing our cooldown up as much as possible, as well as running 2 focus mods, focus on electric and focus on tech, since we'll be using Time of the Hunting Hounds, which turns all of our abilities into tech and gives you another stack on your first ability. Now, I have tried without Time of the Hunting Hounds, where everything or like your main damage is going to be singular using your third ability, but for me this just felt buggy recently. I'm not sure, like when I go and charge it up and like I can actually not see my character, so if I charge it and I look too far up to try and shoot the ships in the AXION plains, it just kind of bugs out and doesn't do anything. Whereas when I'm using Time of the Hunting Hounds and I shoot myself up into the sky, I just usually knock out all the ships around there. So that's why I prefer to go with Time of the Hunting Hounds, and that's what we're going to be building around. So let's have a look at the rest of the mods. We are running with skill expansion and then amp range. Now this is actually not going to give us any more range on our fourth ability, because it's going to cap out at 200% max expandable range. So with amp control, you'll go over that, but what amp control does is it gives you another tick on your first ability, your floating lightning, so the ball will actually get another bounce. That's going to add up and be quite a bit of extra damage. That's why I would recommend going for both of these range mods, so expansion and amp control. Be wasting a little bit of it on the fourth, but the first will thank you with an extra bounce. Extra bounce means more damage. And then lastly, this is kind of your optional mod. You can put whatever you want there. We are running Decimator. If you are feeling squishy, you could go ahead and change this to an HP mod. But with the new calls on component sets, we're able to add a bunch of HP to all our components. And with the component set we're running, we're at just over 9k HP. And to me, that felt like enough. So I decided, well, why not squeeze out some more damage? That's why we ended up with Decimator. And then lastly, we are using Power Beyond, as this is just one of the best, if not the best trigger mod to go ahead and use right now, giving us a flat skill power increase of 15%. And it also does do tow every now and then, which will like pull enemies to a certain spot. And with the Slayer set, that can give you a little bit of MP. And then if we can have a look at a reactor, we are using a Tingling Mechanics reactor. This is going to be electric tech. And the rolls you actually want to get on this would be skill cooldown. And I believe skill critical hit damage would do a little bit more damage than the tech boost we have on there right now. But since we are running the Hunting Hounds, all of our skills are tech boost. So this is actually benefiting all of them. However, crit damage would still be better because, you know, we are at 100% crit chance. So if you can go, and if you are trying to min-max, you definitely want to go for cooldown and crit hit damage. Now for component set, we're actually using a 2-2 set. I've been playing with a bunch of sets today. We used the Slayer set, we used the Bravery set, and then we came across this. We saw somebody in Albion actually standing with that, and for whatever reason, I inspected them and I saw they're running 2-piece, and it was kind of intrigued me. So we tried it out, and this is actually now what we have landed on, because with the cooldown from this using the Hunter 2 set and with the duration and everything we have on the build, we can actually get our 4 ability down to a 9-second cooldown and a 10-second duration. So you can pretty much always have this up. And like as soon as one runs out, you can throw up another one. You have 2 stacks of this, so you'll never not have the increased damage which you get from having up your Snare Hunter. So back to the components, we are going to be running the Plague Auxiliary Power as well as the Plague Memory. This is mainly just to give us the tech boost, and if you don't use the Hunting Hounds, it's going to give you even more damage because it can give you singular damage boost as well. And then we choose to use the Power and the Memory because these both have HP on them. You can see they're HP. And then for our other 2 pieces, we'll be using the Hunter set for the cooldown. And on the sensor, we have defense. And then on the processor, we have HP as well. So with no HP mods, you can see we're at 9.1k HP and almost 40,000 defense. You do, however, want to make sure you get the cores on there. You can see our HP cores aren't maxed out yet, so we could still get even more HP. I think we get close to maybe 10k HP once we like fully max out all the rolls on these, especially since we do have so much HP on the set. Only one of the pieces are giving us defense. Everything else is giving us HP. And then the main stat you want to get is to make sure you get the max MP on the sensor, otherwise you won't hit your 100% crit. Because of how her passive works, she gets increased skill critical hit with more MP that she has. You can see we are at 420.444 MP, and that is putting us at cap. I think that's actually putting us over cap, so you don't have to worry if you just get like a low roll MP. However, you can upgrade your MP on stuff pretty easily now, so you definitely want to just max it out to have as much MP as possible. And then the weapon you want to be using with her as your stat stick is going to be the Secret Guard, and it's going to boost all of your tech skill power. I believe it gives you flat skill power as well. If you have a look here at the pest control, skill power and skill power stack. So it's just skill power stack, but it is achieved by using a tech skill. So that's why you want to be getting this, because all of those skills will be teched with the Hunting Hounds module. And then something I could recommend for you guys to pick up would be a Last Dagger, or maybe an Executor or a Smithereens as a single target weapon. This is to help us burn down the bosses at the end, as well as to apply some of our inversion reinforcements. And that is what the cores look like: fire attack, firearm attack, fire rate, with some crit damage, weak point, firearm attack, and firearm crit damage on the rolls. And then this is a quick look at the mods. I won't break this down too much in detail right now, because we do have a video up on the channel, and I think I might update this build as well. This is just a very generic build, but this is what I use in all my footage when I am doing AXION plains, and it just rips through the bosses at the end the way that it is set up. Now let's take a look at her Arche Tree, just some standard stuff, although we are skipping out on the skill power that we usually get over here. Instead, we're going to get the crit up there. So we come across the right, getting the skill cost and the range going towards the skill power boost over there. And we go all the way up, grabbing the skill power, the MP, up to the cooldown. And then we actually go out to the left to grab the skill critical hit damage. Instead of grabbing what we usually get the skill power there and there, I have tested this, and this is slightly more damage. Just a little bit, but you do get a lot of value out of this since you are at like 100% crit rate. And then finally we come up to this mutant cell, and we are going to be running electric cohesion just for maximum electrical skill power. So there's a quick little overview there of the Arche tuning. And then lastly, let's take a quick look at the inversion reinforcements. We will be running the cooldown over there. We pretty much run this on all skill builds. And then the attribute tree, we max that out for the passive that you get of the enhanced focus rounds when you shoot an enemy. If you go ahead and shoot them with a Last Dagger, it's going to apply that really fast. And I've also recently started using Deploy Resonance Device. Whenever you land a skill or a firearm hit on an enemy, it's going to give you a little bit of skill duration for 10 seconds on a 20-second cooldown. So every other 10 seconds, you'll gain like 5% increased skill duration. It's going to make your fall last a little bit longer, so it's not necessary, but it is nice. If you feel like you're having MP problems, go ahead and switch over to Neurostim. However, I never feel like I have MP problems at all. So that's just a nice little duration boost on the inversion reinforcements. And that's pretty much going to wrap it up for the updated Ines build. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys are running different components, I know there's the Bravery set, and you can also run Veterans Tactics. However, Veterans Tactics feels a little bit weird right now. I believe it's bugged where you can actually like reset the cooldown of your skills that are already off cooldown. So in that sense, it's kind of wasting it. So it's kind of hard to funnel it towards your 4 skill, your snare skill. That's why I just don't like using it that much right now. However, you can use it with Slayer set, and you get some pretty decent damage with that as well. That's why I said there's so many different ways to actually play with components and stuff. She's just so powerful, it doesn't really matter what you do. So let me know down below in the comments what external components you guys actually run with. If you liked the video, please drop a like and sub to the channel. It helps me out so much. Drop them by at twitch.tv/Augiesaint. I'd love to see you guys there. So for now, I'm gonna love you and leave you, and I'll catch you in the next one. Augiesaint out.
Run free and dive into the sky. Hear the wind crying